How long have you
Oh,
been recording?
For the past 7 minutes.
oh my. Thanks for that.
uh,
Do you guys want to do your character intros, or do you want me? No, you know what? Who wants to go first on their character intros?
Wow, you're already assertive
are we
out the
also
gate.
introducing ourselves?
Yes.
Okay.
Who wants to go first? If not, I'm gonna pick someone.
You're gonna go eeny, meeny, miny, mo?
Uh-huh.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll go first.
Hell yeah, Hailee.
I'll do the thing.
Good, Hailee. I'll tell you what. You're gonna be first no matter what.
Uh-oh.
But
I
thanks
had
for
no
volunteering.
choice. Yeah, of course. It gives me the illusion of choice.
It being me.
All right. So, okay.
Introduce
I
yourself first.
I am hello. I'm Hailee. Uh and I'm playing the character of Mercy Campbak. Hey, I'm Mercy Campbak, the spell slinger, or at least I think I am. I'm kind of new to this whole magic thing. I've kind of had this weird thing that I'm able to use magic. I wasn't allowed to use it, like, at all. I guess my parents didn't like it too much. I mean, I guess it's kind of weird. The only person that did was my Uncle Booker, but Dad doesn't let us visit him much anymore. I really don't know why. You know, I'm not at all great at the whole making friends thing, but I have a few that I'm really close with. But I'm hoping when I'm at Brightway I might finally be able to make a lot of friends. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And that's actually where I'm going now. I'm on my way to Brightway with my best friend Noelle. I just call her Nova though. I just thought that name was cute. Oh, also, I'm kind of learning how to dress for myself after being told how to dress for so many years. So, like, I bought myself my first set of t-shirts the other day, and I'm wearing a teal-colored shirt with a printout of a planet. Nova helped me pick it out. I'm also wearing my first pair of jeans in years. I'm also finally able to wear my first pair of black Converse like I saw so many other college kids wear, and it feels really nice. I'm feeling like this is gonna be a really good first day.
So I am Megan, and I'm playing the character Irina. So, hello. My name is Irina Stanton, and I am 35 years old. I work as the top hunter at the company of Brightway Tech and Development. Though, as far as the general public knows, I'm a marketing consultant. I've been working at the company ever since I turned 18, and I've known about its underground activities since childhood. My parents were hunters as well, and sometimes work followed them home. The first time a werewolf showed up to kill me and avenge its own child, they figured it was time to teach me self-defense. Brightway offered me training, and I've been here ever since. Of course, there's a reason I speak of my parents in the past tense. They'd taken a job in Japan. Nothing unusual, as my grandparents lived there, and my mother loved to visit them. They left a month before my 14th birthday and promised they'd return in time to celebrate. Needless to say, that promise was not kept. You might say I have a resentment towards monsters. They took my closest family from me, after all. If I could snap my fingers and eliminate every beast, demon, and cryptid in the world, I'd gladly find a new, more mundane career and enjoy my safety. They all deserve to die for the havoc and destruction they cause. Well, almost all of them. There is one exception to the rule. A shapeshifter named Jaden. I met them on an assignment to kill them, but it was clear from the start that they were harmless. A wreck. A dork. The company shouldn't mind if one little monster goes free as long as they're not causing any trouble. And the company certainly shouldn't mind if I've started to date them, as long as I can keep them a secret. But I'm not too worried about being discovered. They'd never suspect such a thing from their best.
Oh my gosh, what
Love
an
it.
intro!
You both did wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will try to be less British in the future.
You'll start to eat less of tea. Eat tea?
Yes. I sure hope you don't, Hailee.
Don't put that in. Don't put that in the
Bite.
episode.
Too
Bite
bad.
directly into the tea bag.
That's how the champions steep it.
You eat tea and slurp the tea bag.
You skip the middleman. You skip the water middleman.
You just crunch up those leaves real good.
The leaves are the source of your power. The water is just a weakling's way to get to them.
This is all standing. I should probably introduce myself to the fact that I don't have a fancy intro and stuff like that. I'm Jazz. I'm playing the keeper. I'm the one that gets to navigate these chucklefucks around the world that I've created.
Fun. And also give us so many dangers.
So many dangers. So many, many dangers.
It's fine. We're fine.
So I probably should give a little bit of info into the world before we just kind of hop into what I've got written. We're playing in a city of my own devices and from my own brain hole. It is called Brightway. It's located on the east coast of New Jersey, right against the Atlantic. It's kind of a large, big city. I keep hiccuping, and it's horrible. It's a large city that pretty much rivals Manhattan, and it holds the world's leading company in scientific discovery and technological advances. Megan already kind of not patched, what's the word? Touched.
I mentioned it.
You mentioned it, there you go. She mentioned it in Irina's intro. The company that is responsible for these advances is called Brightway Tech and Development. They are both working for this company, and it's been a big part of the monster hunting scene since all the way back to the 1920s.
Ooh.
The 1920s are when the real monsters started to show up. Just swiggity swootying out of the darkness.
They both are going to start working for what's called the company. It's part of Brightway Tech and Development. The company was the original group that was founded back in the 20s. It started as somewhat of a mafia-esque group, but it quickly morphed into an actual bustling company. And that's as much as I'll say on that. The rest will kind of get told in story, so...
All right.
You guys ready for your hook that I have made? I've subjected so many people to listen to.
Yeah, get us with that hook.
Subject us.
Subject us, your subjects.
It's a cold spring morning as we watch Keith Banks speed down the main road leading towards Laniton, late for an appointment that he couldn't afford to miss. There was no one else on the road to hinder his commute as he barely slows before making a sharp turn onto the Green Briar Bridge and continuing his quick pace. With a long stretch of road ahead of him, he spares a moment to lower his head and rub the sleep from his eyes, just as his headlights flicker in the brief moment his eyes were off the path in front of him. But when his gaze rises back up to the road ahead of him, his brain has barely enough time to tell him to slam on the brakes as a young woman wanders into the middle of the road. The sound of tires screeching as his car struggles to stop suddenly fills the silent night air as he is barely able to keep his head from bouncing off the steering wheel when his vehicle collides into a steel support beam at the side of the bridge. He had managed to slow his speed down just enough to not cause significant damage to the bridge, but his car does take the brunt of the damage as its passenger side headlight crumples into the car. When his eyes raise from his dashboard, the woman doesn't waste a second before making her way over to Keith's car with a panicked expression on her face. As she draws closer, Keith barely registers his action, running on adrenaline and caffeine as he pops out of his car to meet the woman halfway. As he draws closer, he notices that the woman is soaked head to toe, as if she just dragged herself out of the water, as her light hair sticks to her face and her clothes leave water droplets on the asphalt. He asks why she was standing out in the middle of the road as they get closer, but she gives no response. She just grips onto the front of his shirt with a determination and an unnaturally cold touch as soon as they meet, her panicked expression never leaving her face. Keith does his best to try to calm the mysterious woman down, getting the sense that maybe she wasn't all there in the head. Her white dress was stained with dirt and torn in a few places as makeup ran down her face, and in the dimly lit environment of the bridge, he could have sworn that her skin was discolored to something that wasn't quite natural, alongside what seemed like bruises along her arms and neck. There was something in the back of his mind that kept alerting him to the fact that there was something dangerous about the woman standing in front of him, and he began having second doubts about the situation he had currently found himself in. He begins to offer to call 911 for the woman while attempting to release himself from the iron grip that she had on his shirt. However, as soon as his hand makes contact with hers, he feels an unnatural coldness wash over him for a brief moment in time, for her hands reel back from his with a pained yell, water pouring from her mouth as if she'd been holding it there the entire time. Keith takes this opportunity to run back to his car, slamming the door shut behind him as he doesn't even take a second to buckle himself in, before slamming the car into reverse so he can angle himself to retreat back to his apartment in Reedchester. He is barely able to kick his car into gear when a fist collides with his driver window, effectively shattering it, as that same cold hand grabs him from the throat with an iron grip. However, the woman's grasp on him fails as Keith slams his foot down on the gas pedal, making his car jerk forward and race off at an incredible speed. He takes this moment to take in a few long, shaky breaths as he raises his head to watch to see if the strange woman has chosen to attempt to pursue him. Stealing a glance at the clock before his eyes widen in both confusion and fear at what he sees in his rearview mirror. The time reads 3:42 a.m., and the woman is nowhere to be seen.
Rough morning, buddy.
Wow. Maybe didn't get enough coffee.
You know, you hallucinate when you don't sleep, though.
You know when you hallucinate a water woman who's really cold?
Who's really cold and really scared.
Yeah, and also really scared. I mean, that's a mood. Okay.
Lit.
That's good to know that that's something that's out in the world right now.
So, we're going to start. It's probably about 6 a.m. at this point. We're going to start with you, Irina. What would you say your normal morning looks like?
Are we... that depends if I stayed over at Jaden's or not.
I would imagine you probably would be at Jaden's.
Okay, so Irina probably gets up like very early.
Mm-hmm.
Has a little workout session in the small apartment living room. Probably keeps the volume low because Jaden is sleeping like a dead rock. She'd probably save the coffee for like a little store downstairs or something.
Mm-hmm.
Down like across the street.
Yeah.
And yeah, she, after like waking herself up with that little morning routine of working out and drinking coffee, probably like walk in and kiss Jaden, who like probably swats at her. Goes off to the subway and rides into her job.
So, just as you go in and you place like a gentle kiss on Jaden's forehead, and they just very annoyed, just with an annoyed nose, just and like they just swat you away. You grab your keys and you grab your jacket off of a nearby chair that's kind of in the kitchenette that's attached to the living room.
Mm-hmm.
You managed to overhear, you had the morning news playing. You managed to overhear a story, one that's not normal. There's normally not this kind of like news on in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You tune in into the TV to the news reporter going or interviewing a young man He he's a ginger, he's got kind of short scraggly hair. He looks like he hasn't slept all night. And you hear just the tail end of the conversation between the two of them before you're out the door to the so you can catch your subway train on time to get to your work. And the news reporter is going, so why don't you go over the details once again, just for the people, just before we wrap up the show. And you hear the young man clear his throat, and he goes, yeah, it was probably like 3 in the morning before I was driving to a job interview for a factory over in, God, I can't even fucking remember at this point. But I was crossing the bridge and there was just this woman just appeared in the bridge, and I barely managed to stop to before I smashed into her. And the camera pans over, you can see in the corner of your eye, it pans over to a car that just seems absolutely totaled. And it pans back over to the young man and the reporter. He continues, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what she was doing out in the middle of the bridge. I tried to ask her, but she wouldn't answer me. He like shakes his head, and he's looking more annoyed at this point as having to relive this scenario. And he continues, if you ask me, she looked like she escaped the asylum from over on the island. I haven't, no one's been able to find her, at least that's what the police told me, but if you ask me, they're letting the crazies back out again. And you see the reporter quickly turn back, and she raises the microphone back up to her own mouth to say something. However, at this point, you are already walking out the door and have closed the door behind you to leave for the day.
Irina's probably just like, I'll probably hear more about this at work. I don't have time.
I don't have time right now. And you leave for work. Is there anything else that she, like any kind of other rituals that she has on her way to work, or does she just kind of get in there and just kind of get to where you're going? I would say that you have probably been informed that you are training someone new today.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, she's probably getting there early to like go over her plans again, because she has certainly made plans. She probably got a binder.
Yeah. How thick is this binder?
It would be like 3 inches thick, if not Jaden just being like, hey, babe, chill. You don't want to overwhelm this noob on their first day.
Oh my god.
When you first walk into, as you step off the subway, you kind of give the courtesy like wave to like all the workers around the station that you recognize. There is a couple of them that you don't quite know the names of. You've never really cared enough to learn their names, but you do recognize the faces. It's as soon as you get into the main building of the complex, you are greeted by someone that doesn't normally often just wait around in the lobby. You are greeted by Ruby Henningway, the CEO of Brightway Tech and Development. And as soon as you walk into the building, she looks at you and she goes, "Oh, Irina, you're finally here. It's you're not late or anything." As she kind of like sees like your face and just it's I wanted to talk to you before our new recruit got here. I'm sure you probably watched the news this morning.
I saw a little bit of it. Why did I sound like that? I saw a little bit of it.
Well, Eden downstairs thinks that there is some supernatural involvement in it. So if you would want to come upstairs while we wait for our new recruit, I can kind of debrief you on the situation.
Sounds good.
And she leads you over. She like makes like that hand motion where like she would put like her arm around you, but she's like ghosting over the middle of your back, like guiding you, even though she knows that you know where you're going. And she leads you over to the service elevator that leads pretty much directly straight up to her office. And you two kind of go over the kind of do your morning. How are you? Like, what was the weekend? Just like the small talk, just like that coworkers do with each other. And we see you guys kind of slowly rising up the span the span of the building as the camera kind of pans down to the road that leads up to the main entrance to the complex of Brightway Tech and Development. And we see a little red Toyota Camry, just beater car, that windows are shaking with how loud the music is. And inside is you, Mercy. Your best friend Nova has taken it upon herself to blast Fall Out Boy as loud as she possibly can on the shittiest radio she could find to put into her car that she bought with her own money, as you guys are speeding up the road towards the complex.
I love it.
What's this scene look like?
Right now I am definitely totally not trying to halfway plug my ears because of the loud noise. But I'd never have the heart to tell Nova that it's too loud.
She is just like absolutely just like bumping to this music. And like I'm not exaggerating when I said that it's like actually shaking the windows of the car. It's that loud.
I try and touch the window to try and test how much it's vibrating. I would assume, does my whole body vibrate in response?
Yeah.
Okay, never doing that again. That felt really weird.
People at traffic lights hate her.
Just hear that.
You guys have been shot quite a couple dirty looks whenever you guys stop at like a stoplight or a stop sign, just due to the obnoxious nature of this music.
Totally didn't become worried at any of those. But if I see that my bestie Nova is having fun, I'm gonna look to her. Is she smiling like a dork?
Oh yeah, she's got the biggest grin on her face, and like I said, she's just absolutely just jamming to this music.
Then I just can't help but smile like a dork myself. And
She notices you kind of looking at her, and she leans over and she turns down the music just enough to where like your ears are ringing a little bit, and she just flashes you this big toothy grin. She has like a gap between her front teeth that you've always kind of found endearing. It just like heightens her smile. And she just gives you this big toothy grin, and she goes, "What are you staring at, dummy?"
I'm smiling your dorky ass.
What, you can't tell me that you don't love this song too.
I do love this song. And we've been listening to this one for ages. It's one of our favorites.
Well, of course, it's the best one, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
And just to give you a little hindsight, it's "Sugar We're Going Down Swingin'" by Fall Out Boy.
We're going
Beautiful rendition.
She leans over and she just like playfully like hits your shoulder, and she goes, come on, Mercy, you gotta let me in. You gotta tell me, how excited are you to be outside of your house right now?"
Oh, I'm so happy. This is great. Like, I'm finally going to be doing things on my own. You know how, like, just given how much I have, like, just us being able to be together is already a rare enough thing to happen. And then now I'm actually out of the house and away from mom and dad. Like, this is great. I'm really excited.
Well, of course you are. I mean, this is this is like the place to be. Like, this is where our futures can be defined, let alone that we both personally got invited here. Do you know how big that is? She's like violently shaking your shoulder as she's like enthusiastically yelling about this.
Yes, it's so good. We can be famous. We can make money. It'll be wonderful.
She, as she's like violently shaking you just back and forth as you guys drive up the main road to the complex, you are stopped by some security guards that Mercy, or not Mercy, fuck, that Nova, she hands them your guys' invitations that you were sent in the mail, and they like nod their head in like understanding, and they hand them back to her, and you see the big fence roll open, and you are now officially in Brightway Tech and Development. What do you do?
Holy crap. It's here. Uh, I'm going to turn it over really quick. I'm like, does my braid look okay? I kind of tried to put it together as best I could.
Oh, it looks like absolute garbage, but it's okay. And she
Oh,
like pops out of the car.
oh, I'm gonna pop down the little window thing, the sun shield with the window in it, and I'm going to like try my best to like reorganize something somehow, but to no avail. From like, fuck it, and I'm going to leave the car.
Nova is already like excitedly running to the main building that you guys were told to attend to, and she goes, "Come on, Merce, you're gonna make us late."
I'm coming, I'm coming, and she's going to like start jogging.
As soon as you enter the building, I didn't go too much into detail with you, Megan, because Irina wouldn't be noticing all this stuff because this has been her life for like the past like almost like
She's
what
35. She's known about it since.
childhood. I'm assuming she's been in the building many a time, so
Yeah.
like she's been here for like 35 some years. But Mercy, as soon as you step into this building, you are kind of amazed about how busy this lobby is. There are constant people walking to and from the two buildings that are, or from the two main doors that are at either side of the room, one labeled Science Department, the other one labeled Tech and Development. There are just constant people with lab coats and business suits, just the clicking of heels and dress shoes just fill this room as there are people constantly walking between the two departments. And there is a young lady at the reception desk who kind of looks up at and like kind of like takes in you and Noelle, and she's kind of looks at you. She like pops like a piece of gum in her mouth, and she goes, "Can I help you?"
Uh, hi, hello. Me and my best friend Noel, we were here, on invitation.
What's your name?
My name's Mercy.
Full name?
Mercy Campbak.
Thank you. She kind of like, with like long acrylic nails, she like punches her keyboard inputting your names, and she goes, "Oh yes, Noel, you are set to report in the science department under Eden." She like squints and she like adjusts her glasses, and she goes, "Yeah, Eden Fall. She's right through that door through the left," and she kind of like motions, and then she looks at you, Mercy, and she goes, you're going all the way upstairs.
Upstairs?
You're
Alright.
you're meeting with Ruby."
With Ruby. Alright.
She kind of
Sure.
gets up from her desk, and a small woman, probably like she's like 4'10" at the tallest. A small woman with like black pin straight like bobbed hair comes out and she like fetches Noelle. She doesn't even really give her enough time to like talk before she's just like come 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 come, and she leads her back to the science department. Noelle, like as she's like being dragged off, she goes, "Oh, okay, I'll see you later, Mert. Bye."
Good luck.
Is that Edna from The Incredibles?
No
And
capes.
the receptionist motions for you, Mercy, to follow her like around the corner to like a set of elevators, and she goes, "Come here, I'll show you how to get upstairs."
Oh, right. Thank you. And I'll step in the elevator.
She kind of like punches a sequence of buttons, and she goes, "There's a no kind of direct button to Ruby's office, since it's kind of she doesn't like to be bothered, but she like
Oh,
punches the sequence of numbers and she goes, just write it all the way to the last step. You'll see you'll be in a big office. There's like a waterfall on one of the walls. You'll know when you're there.
a waterfall?
You'll know when you're there. And she like kind of like gives you a salute as she like pops another one of her gum bubbles before the doors like slide shut and you are quickly whisked up the elevator.
Wha Elevators are they supposed to be this quick?
This one seems a little unnaturally quick.
Uh, this is going really quick. uh,
Like there's like normal elevator leisurely pace, and then there's this elevator that kind of like is a couple steps above that normal leisurely pace.
I'm fast as fuck. I'm kind of clutching onto a handrail a little bit, and I'm kind of tugging at the end of my shirt a little bit, with my nerves going on.
You see the numbers at the top of the door from the inside of the elevator. They're just like quickly just climbing in higher and higher numbers the higher you get through this building. And it doesn't take, it's not a very long elevator ride. There's like, it stops probably like once or twice to let other people in the elevator to take them to the higher floors and stuff like that. But you are the only person in the elevator as it comes to the top, what you can tell is the top of the building, as the doors slide open and you are greeted with that waterfall that the receptionist had mentioned downstairs. But as soon as you step into this room, you are greeted with the sight of a very large office. It's like almost the size of like the entire floor. And on
Whoa.
the other side of the room, standing there with a warm smile, is a very well dressed female figure with a short, kind of like my hairstyle, like a pixie cut style hair, red hair, and that's dressed very sharply in a very sharp business suit, as there is another woman sitting at the desk, also dressed pretty sharply herself. And the woman standing greets you with a warm smile and goes, "You must be Marcy."
Oh, hello. Yes, that's me. Nice to meet you.
She crosses the room and extends a hand out to you to shake, and she goes, "My name's Ruby Henningway. I'm the CEO at our lovely Brightway Tech and Development here."
Oh, wow. I didn't think I was going to meet the CEO right away. Hello.
"Well, of course. Who do you think invited you here, silly?"
Oh, yeah, I guess so. When I shake Ruby's hand, my hand is definitely shaking a little bit.
She kind of like pats the back of your hand. She goes, I get it. There's a lot of nerves on the first day, but there's no reason to be worried here. I have pitted you for nothing but success within our company." And she motions for you to walk in front of her as she motions back to her desk. to an
Professionals.
open chair next to this other woman.
All right. I will go sit down. And I'll be still tugging at the bottom of my shirt a little bit, just kind of playing with it.
Ruby will come back, and as she is like making her way back around her desk, she puts a hand on the unidentified woman's shoulder, and she goes, "Introduce yourself to your new partner."
She's going to like turn around and like hold out a gloved hand and just say, "Hello, I am Irina. I will be your teacher."
Hi, and I'll introduce another shaky hand to meet her as well. I'm Mercy Campbak. Nice to meet you.
Mercy Campbak, you are smaller than I expected.
Uh, what did you imagine me as?
She doesn't say. She turns back around.
Uh, good talk. Mercy is kind of playing with her braid a little bit as she turns to face forward.
Ruby is kind of like shuffling through some papers on her desk before she leans forward, and she like clasps her hands in front of her and puts them on the desk, and she goes, "Now, Ruby, I couldn't quite explain why exactly I offered you a job here, or at least not over a letter that could easily be tampered with and looked at from the wrong eyes.
Right.
Mercy, how do you feel about ghost stories or like your local neighborhood cryptids? How do you deal with those kind of folklores? What do you think of them?"
I mean, they're not too unusual. I mean, I've read stories like that all the time. Like, I I would like to think on some days that they're kind of real to some extent, but I kind of know that they might not. But they don't. Stories like that don't freak me out much.
Well, considering the powers you have, I don't imagine they would come to quite a shock to you.
Yeah, I guess not. Oh, wait. Hold on. You know about my stuff?
Well, of course, dear. That's one of the big reasons of why we invited you, or why I invited you here, so to say. Um, we know your family quite well. We have another one of your members, or one of your family members among us.
Huh? Uh, who's that?
Oh, I'm sure they'll want to introduce themselves in good time. They're on a mission right now, and they were quite upset that they couldn't be here for your first day, but nevertheless, they'll be back soon. But they are the ones that informed us of your powers and how you were not allowed to utilize those powers in your current situation. And we here at Brightway Tech and Development, we kind of thought that was a shame. And those powers could prove to be very useful and could help a lot of people. So
All right.
I brought you here to tell you that those folklore and those stories that you have most likely heard when you were growing up, well, my dear, they're all true.
Oh, so like ghosts and cryptids and all that? They're actually a thing?
Every single one of them. Irina here can tell you all about them. She's been dealing with them since she could walk.
I'm going to turn to Irina, go, no way. How you've ran into stuff like that? That's unreal.
Run into is a bit of an understatement. But
Uh,
yes,
Right. Like, what do you mean by understatement? This is...
Well, run into implies that I bumped into them and went along my way. I have hunted down. I know the company keeps records, but I've lost count.
Ruby kind of shuffles through her papers before she pulls one out, and she goes, exactly 352 of them, to be exact.
Mercy's eyes go wide.
Between
That's...
all of the out-of-state missions that we've sent you on, you've racked up quite a few under your belt, I would say. But that is unsurprising considering your talent, which is exactly why I chose Irina to be the one to mentor you. Mercy, should you accept the offer, we would be more than happy to have you join us as one of our hunters. To
That...
have you protect the residents of this, not only this city, but of a lot of this country and maybe a lot of the world. This job has a lot of hardships and a lot of requirements, but
Mercy is trying to hide like a giant smile on her face. It's like, yeah, that I accept. That sounds really nice.
oh,
Thank
that
you.
was a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. And she kind of like quickly shuffles through like this thick stack of paper that you assume must have been like all of her reasonings and whys you should join the company, and like the benefits you would have and like the job details and stuff like that, and like she was ready to spell it all out for you, and you just sat there and you were like, okay, lit, sign me up. And she seems like a little caught off guard by this, like this is not something that she normally goes through. She normally has to go through like this big packet. And she extends you out a paper and with a pen as well. And she goes, if you would just, I guess, sign here knowing that what you're getting yourself into, welcome to the company.
All right. I'm going to kind of glance over the paper and see if there's any extra stuff. Is there fine print? Because I'm fairly certain that Dad probably told me to read the fine print 500 times in a single week.
Oh, I'm sure. As you, I was gonna say, I would, this is something you probably are very well versed in. This paper pretty much just details like your exact job description, which is basically um, seek out, hunt, and dispose of they consider anomalies, which is what you assume to be monsters. It basically just goes over your job description, which is basically hunting down anomalies and keeping the general public safe, promising that you will keep the knowledge of these anomalies out of the public eye, as most of the general public does not know that their local haunted house stories are genuinely true. And it goes through that Brightway will supply you with everything you need for every job that you are assigned. They will offer you lodging free of charge, as well as they will allow you like a monthly like allowance to get you like the necessities and stuff like that, on top of having benefits of the science department and on top of being paid for every job you successfully complete.
That sounds like a really good deal. And uh, the company will just give me a free place to stay?
Oh yes, we already have something lined up for you in accordance if you accepted our offer. So after you kind of have your first day out and about, I've already given Irina the address to this place, and she will show you to your apartment.
that sounds awesome. And she is going to like very enthusiastically sign her name on the paper.
Ruby just has like this big smile on her face, just like how she seems like very proud of you, and she seems very excited, and she goes, well, coincidence, today ended up being a perfect day for you to come to us, as we already have a possible case for the two of you. And she spins around and she picks up a manila folder from her back counter and she opens it in front of you two, and inside is a picture of Irina. You recognize this picture as the man from the news this morning, Keith. And she will kind of like fan out and with notes that the research department from the company has taken, and she goes, Eden has, you haven't met her yet, but Eden down in the science and research department, she has reason to believe that this everyday accident has something more to it, and it seems there has been a trend of these similar accidents pretty much about this time every year around the springtime at around 3 in the morning. It's been quite a trend for the past 5 years, we've found. And as far as we know, we not quite sure how we didn't pick up on this before, but this young man is only the second to make it out of these accidents alive. Every other one has seemed to, how do I put this? They've seemed to have the life drained out of them. Most of it has been chalked up to suicides or accidents upon arrival, or death upon arrival due to accidents. There's been quite a couple nasty, really nasty accidents that's happened on the Green Briar Bridge, and the police doesn't seem to see a connection in this, but there always seems to be around this week in the springtime at 3 in the morning, and both men who have survived this has accounted running into this woman.
This woman. So a cryptid for the past 5 years has been kind of at this one bridge?
That is what Eden suspects. We're not quite sure what it is. That is kind of your guys' job description, and Irina will show you the ropes, but we have reason to believe that this is not just coincidences.
Right, it doesn't sound like coincidences. I mean, whatever I can do to help, whatever it takes to take whatever this thing is down. I mean, we don't want another repeat next year, right?
That is the goal, seeing how it has already taken about a dozen lives.
Yeah, so no more repeats.
She kind of leans back in her chair a little less formal now, as she kind of smiles at the two of you, and she goes, "Is there any other questions you have for me? Is there anything else you need? Irina, you know you're more than welcome to stop by the science department if you think you may need anything before you head out, but..."
Of course.
And I'm going to be working with Irina, right?
Yes, she will be your teacher for as long as you're here, or at least until you feel like you have the grasp on the workings. For as long as you two feel it necessary.
All right, that sounds great. I mean, I'm down for I've always read about this kind of stuff in books. Never thought it would be real. Kind of being the person to take down a monster.
Let me tell you, you are handling this information a lot better than a lot of people who have come here.
Really? This sounds like really exciting.
Irina looks kind of annoyed that you said that, but she's not saying anything.
And I'm just gonna kind of sit there for a second until we're dismissed. Mercy not quite sure what else to say.
As you guys kind of like, well, Mercy, as you kind of agree to the job and everything, and Irina, I imagine you just kind of like silently like nod your head and just like accept the assignment. Ruby, she like gathers up the papers and she spins around and starts like filing them in a big filing cabinet behind her desk.
Okay, how big is this filing cabinet? This is
It
important immersion information.
like she has a pretty long desk. Like it's like the size of like a decent sized coffee table. It's like two of them.
Oh my god.
You can
Okay.
you can imagine that she keeps track of a lot of stuff that happens in Brightway between the actual tech and development part of it and the company as well.
I would not want to be this woman.
That's a lot of responsibility.
So, would you like to see your lodgings? Lodgings?
Uh, yeah, that would be really nice, actually. That would be really great. Wow, my own place.
She's just gonna get up and start walking.
Oh, wait up. And she's gonna get up and kind of power walk.
How do how do how do
How do?
I do.
what mode of transportation do you guys take?
I wouldn't imagine that, like, depending on what is available, if there are, like, trains and stuff, Mercy probably has not gone on one because she's probably been taken everywhere by her parents.
Yeah, there's a subway, a single subway station that goes in and out of the of the complex.
Okay. I mean, we could take that, right?
I mean,
What
Irina
else?
doesn't have a car, so she's just automatically going there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just basically following Irina. She's the expert. Hi, I'm the new one. And probably as we're walking, I'm gonna probably ask just like, uh, should I just call you Miss Irina? Mrs. Irina? What would you like to be called?
Irina is fine.
All right. Irina, could I ask you a question?
Of course, that's what I'm here for.
Uh, how is like hunting all these like cryptids like really exciting for you?
I don't really consider it an adventure. It's my job.
It's your, I mean, that's got to be really exciting. Like having a 9 to 5 where you just kind of hunt these things out of fantasy books.
Irina, as you step onto the train, so soon after you just arrived here a couple hours ago, you see the man that kind of like ushers everyone to and from, like telling them how to get to each part of the complex. He kind of like gives you like a puzzled look for a second before he realizes you're like, oh, you're probably on a job, and then he like salutes you off in like recognition of just like acknowledgement of your existence.
She like subtly nods at him.
Mhm.
But she says to Mercy, well, I don't really like to look at it that way. Would you consider firefighting to be something exciting?
I mean, firefighting, maybe? Is that how this is panning out to be?
It's perhaps high energy. It requires a lot of physical fitness. And yes, you are saving lives. However, it is very dangerous and not something that should be taken lightly.
At the word of physical fitness, Mercy is going to check out her scraggly noodle arms.
Irina also like gave you a look up and down when she said that.
I mean, physical fitness part. How much? I didn't like doing the mile that much in grade
You and
school.
I have a lot to work on.
All right. Do I need to get like a gym membership or something
If you would like to.
to get strong, get the beefy stuff. Anyway,
She puts her hand on your shoulder and just says, I will get you some DVDs if we drop this.
right, right, okay.
As you guys are kind of having this kind of almost bickering, just kind of back and forth, um, Mercy, you notice as you ride through this kind of like it's obviously a subway station, like you know what like subway tunnels are and stuff like that, but you are curiously the only person, you two besides two other people are the only people in this car. And it's like a single car, it's not like a full train or anything like that. And as it leaves the station from Brightway, you pass other subway cars that are much longer than the ones you are in and has a lot more people in it. But this subway, the single car that you guys are in, kind of almost like sneakily dodges and weaves between a bunch of the other tracks before it gets on the main, what you assume to be the main track, and it kind of drops you off at another station. And when you step out onto like the station platform, you can tell like there's like the main platform that like the general public uses, but you're probably a little bit further down away from them, as and you see it take some like dodging and weaving through some stuff to get to this area, as if like it's a secret area that's just for company workers.
Oh wow. It's like a company exclusive train, ground underground subway train.
It's one of the few benefits from this job. You don't have to deal with crowding.
I mean, I know traffic. I don't know much about people traffic, but I know about car traffic, and that's really boring, especially when you don't have much to do and your parents are just kind of quiet all the time. Anyway,
Irina's parents are quiet all the time too.
oh my God, no, no.
You just say that and she just like looks at you and is just like, that's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. But we're here. Is this where it's supposed to be? And she's gonna kind
You're
of like
getting off
almost
here.
halfway spin around in circles, trying to like identify something with no like clue as to where it might be.
She like grabs your coat and drags you out.
Whoa, whoa, okay. This is happening now. Uh, cool, I guess.
Irina, kind of in like your what's considered like a welcoming package that you were given for Mercy, when you were told that you were going to be kind of showing her around and showing her the ropes of the city and stuff like that. You were given kind of an envelope that has her like building key card and her apartment keys in it.
Okay. Then she's going to let you go as soon as they get out of the crowded subway station. And after we walk to the apartment, probably take that out of her pocket and just open it. Open the doors, TM.
Mm-hmm. Mercy, your apartment is on the 6th floor of this building.
All right. Uh, all right. I'm going up to that good 6th floor.
With the normally paced elevator.
With the normal paced elevator.
Yeah, are there stairs?
Yes, there
Uh,
are stairs leading up, and then there's a elevator that already has like two people waiting to go up.
uh, since there are already two people waiting to go up, Mercy's gonna decide that that's a social interaction that she's not willing to participate in.
I feel that on a spiritual level, though.
So she's just gonna go take the stairs. Irina says physical fitness, so physical fitness.
Gotta prove to Irina that I am the fit.
And about 2 floors up, I'm already kind of feeling it. By the 5th floor, I have to take a second on the 5th floor landing. Okay.
Irina's just waiting for you a floor up.
Just on the 6th floor, just waiting patiently.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go up to the 6th floor, and before I get out into the main area, I'm gonna just try and catch my breath so I don't seem like I'm totally winded from climbing up 6 flights of stairs. And I'm gonna walk out and like, oh, wow, okay.
She just pats you on the back like, good job, champ. A couple more of those and you might be able to walk 5 feet without breathing heavily.
I'm not sure how to take that, but I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
I think that's a compliment.
You did it.
Cool.
2 thumbs up.
I'm just gonna go walk to my room and open that door TM up.
So, Mercy, your room, your apartment number is 603. And
3.
as soon as you open the door, you can see that there are already some, like, personal decorations in the room. Like, they're, like those glow-in-the-dark sticky stars that you put on the ceiling?
Nice.
Yes.
They're already up on the ceiling, and there just seems to be a couple, like, knickknacks that are, like, specifically tailored to you as, like, something that you would pick out for yourself. And it's not long before you step into the apartment and Irina steps in behind you, and she goes to shut the door, that someone, like, very aggressively, like, puts their hand on the door and just, like, swings it open, and you hear the familiar voice of, "Surprise! I kind of got the chance to get here before you. We're right across the hall." And standing enthusiastically in the doorway, motioning to the apartment 605 across the hall, is Noelle.
Oh my gosh. Hi. Whoa. Wait, you're on this floor, Nova?
I'm right across the hall from you. And she, like, makes another dramatic gesture to the door that's labeled 605 across the hall.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool. I'm gonna, like, give her a hug.
She's going to, like, very dramatically, like, hug you back, do it like the side, like, sway side to side thing. And she goes, "Yeah, the door wasn't locked when I got here. I imagine they were kind of, like, finishing some stuff up. I'm not really quite sure. But I took it upon myself. I brought some knickknacks that I bought over at the art center a couple weeks ago when we learned that we were coming here. And I kind of put them around here. Kind of made it, feel a little bit more like home.
Oh my gosh, Nova, thank you so much. It looks so awesome.
Well, of course, she, like, playfully hits your shoulder, and then, like, she notices Irina standing in the middle of the room. She goes, "Who's that?"
Oh, that's Irina. She's my coworker. I was told I was going to be working with her a lot.
Irina just waves.
"Oh, how come you already have all the super serious partner of yours? Like, come on." I mean, I'm studying under the lead research of the science department, but man, you got me beat. Look at your partner. She, like, very with very loud steps, walks over to you, Irina, and she, like, pointedly sticks a hand out to you to shake.
Thank you. And shakes her hand back.
She, like, aggressively, just, like, very dramatically just shakes your hand. And with that, I'm gonna pause because Mom is calling me. So, the girl you know now as Nova is aggressively shaking your hand. What do you do?
Uh,
Roll initiative.
she had like that firm business grip on her, so like she's just like, okay, letting it happen, but like not without resistance.
Wow.
And after Nova finally lets go, she's probably going to like rub her wrist a little.
Nova pays this no mind as she, like, quarter, like, spins, like, sharp on her heels just back to Mercy, and she goes, "So what are you up to today?"
Well, me and Irina, we're gonna be doing some like I'm gonna kind of like dart my eyes back to Irina. Uh and
I'm going to be teaching her about marketing.
She
yes.
kind of, like, looks back at, like, slowly looks back at you, and she's like, "Ah, okay. Well, you got yourself a pretty creative person here." She kind of thinks, outside the box. Um, I mean, I probably don't need to sell her because she's probably, if she's at this point, she's probably got the job. But I'll leave you two be. And she, like clasps both hand on your shoulders, Mercy, and she goes, "Well, you have fun." And she, like, takes both her hands and, like, pats both of your cheeks, like, between her hands before you see her go back across the hall into her own apartment that you can see is already a mess.
I am going to smile like an absolute dork as she leaves.
She was nice.
She's really nice. That's my best friend. Wow, I can't believe me and her are on the same floor. That's so cool. Wow. Uh
Irina's going to smile knowingly.
Wait, you have a best friend too? Do they live
You
nearby?
could say that, yes.
You could say that. Is it hmm. I think I see what's going on here. Uh like best friends.
Yes, they are my ultimate best friend.
You're not wrong.
Oh, awesome. Do I get to like meet them at some point?
Probably not.
Oh, all right. Well,
Aw.
eh, anyway, marketing, and she's gonna like do the snap finger guns at Irina. Marketing.
You, you don't actually think that I'm teaching you about marketing, do you?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe halfway. Does something about this thing have to do with us selling them a product?
No.
You're the expert.
You're
Okay.
selling them a product of death.
We're selling them the product of death for the low price of death to the face.
We are going to be investigating,
Investigating.
you know, the near murder of a young man on a bridge.
Yeah, so like we get to like kind of be like noir style, like old typewriters, black and white, like investigating, like jazz music going on in the background.
There will be no jazz music, but yes.
Oh, that sounds fun. Uh, Right. What do we have to do?
That's a good question.
That is an excellent question.
Oh, frick, DM, GM, frick.
I'm the keeper in
The
this
keeper.
game.
The keeper.
I am the keeper of monsters and mysteries.
Do we have info on the dude?
The dude
Keith?
DM?
On Keith?
Keith? Yes, Ruby gave you a kind of like a small manila folder of like the information they have gathered. Um, as it has a brief profile on Keith, his full name. Hold on, you're gonna let me have to flip back over to my notes. I was just kind of chilling.
Chill out.
Keith
Radical.
Keith is 22 years of age. He is the second person known to survive these accidents. Um, it kind of gives a brief synopsis on uh, his character. He has a felony charge for theft and possession on him. He has just been released from parole, and part of his parole is that he has to have so many job interviews a month to stay on parole, which is in like a note section is what they theorize of why he was on the bridge. And they're not quite sure where he is now, but
Okay.
that is the information that you guys have on Keith. He also gave an account of the woman that he saw, is also written kind of in his notes. She had long blonde hair, a torn white gown, and she just didn't seem quite right in his words.
Didn't seem quite right. So there's nothing else besides that?
There is like a police report sketch of what he says that she looked like. She doesn't look particularly like something stands out. She looks like a pretty young, beautiful girl. But besides that, there's nothing really else that you guys got from the company.
So our cryptid is a person? I've always read cryptid stories as like these weird amalgamations of like a pig and like a snake.
I mean, those exist too, but not every cryptid, or we call them anomalies here, appear obviously as anomalies.
So this one might be a little tough because it looks like a person. Uh,
Would Irina recognize anything about the description as like a specific monster?
Um, from what Keith was saying from like his description, the events, and kind of similar to like the thing is like I don't know if he would have stated publicly like exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all you guys have is that someone had attacked him and they just didn't seem quite right.
Okay.
okay.
And you said the company doesn't know the whereabouts of Keith?
Keith?
Yeah, they don't know the exact whereabouts, but in his profile is the apartment building that they know he lives in. They don't know exactly what apartment it is, but they do know the building.
Okay.
Okay.
I suggest we start with the young man that reported all of this.
That seems pretty logical. Start with the person who actually got the things happening. Yes.
We will work on that as well.
The what?
Do you have, you said you're dressed in casual wear?
Yeah.
Do you have anything more professional to change into?
Yeah. I would imagine I had like packs on me and stuff.
Yeah, all of the like boxes and like duffel bags that you brought with you to the complex when you guys first arrive has already been unloaded into your apartment, and it's like in the bedroom off the living room.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I have some fancy clothes. That's actually most of my wardrobe at home, but yeah, I brought a few spares, and I'm gonna go into the bedroom and change into some fancier TM stuff. And I'm going to come out with a kind of a kind of faded yellow button-down shirt with a teal overcoat, gray dress pants, like a black belt, with kind of uh, the actual brass colored buckle, and fancy black dress shoes.
Irina, as Mercy kind of like dips into her bedroom to change into something you deem more appropriate, you kind of flip through the file that Ruby gave you a little bit more, and you see in the back of their little notes, you see a second name actually that is as I see you just like click your pencil, just like, all right, give it to me. You see the name Dallas Conaway, and they are labeled as the second person to have survived this encounter.
Does he look anything like Keith?
No,
Okay.
Does
you
he
don't have
have
a
a
physical
cowboy
description on him.
hat?
You just have his name and that he is the confirmed second survivor.
Okay.
And it gives you a brief synopsis that he is normally found down in the docks of East Acre.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna come out of my room and kind of have the up and down arm motion, just feigning kind of confidence. It's like, is this good?
She's going to walk over and adjust your collar.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting about that. Thank you. All
I
right.
think I might have actually found an easier lead to start from.
An easier lead? Okay, who's that?
We have the name of the first almost victim.
All right. And where would they be at? Because,
The East Acre Docks. If we go there as and pose as let Megan think for a second because I'm not a monster hunter.
this is your job.
uh, if if we pose as inspectors, then they might let us in and talk with him,
All right.
or
I
at least. What does he do? Does
Hmm?
it say what he does at the docks?
No, it just states that this is like his hangout area.
His hangout? He doesn't work there?
Oh, their hangout area. My bad.
Okay. Ooh.
Ooh.
My bad. But no, it doesn't state whether or not they work there or not.
Okay. And if that doesn't work, we will come up with different alibis on the fly.
Improv. I was never part of a speech class. I'm not sure how to improv, but I'll try my best.
Remember, yes, and.
Yes, and... okay.
You'll do.
Okay. She kind of gives you a nervous smile. It's just like, okay. Playing with her shirt yet again.
She's also gonna hand you, like, I imagine she has a fake badge.
Mhm.
That, like, a fake badge that just says gibberish. And just says, only flash it to people. Do not show it to them.
Okay, so flashing. Got it.
This is the only time where flashing is okay.
Right. Okay.
Hey everyone, it's Jasmine. It's your friendly neighborhood keeper in this DM keeper, whichever one you want to call me. I just want to take the time here at the end to thank you all, everyone who's decided to sit through this and listen. The deepest of gratitudes from the bottom of my heart. It means so much to me, and even to all of us, that you took the time to, out of your life, to listen to this, to listen to our new passion project. It really means a lot to us, so thank you so much. And we plan to release these episodes on a bi-weekly schedule, so stay tuned in 2 weeks for the next episode. If you want to follow either of our wonderful players, Megan has an Instagram, which is under the name otter_sketches. She posts a lot of cool art over there, and she's currently working on a D&D comic of her own right now, so if you want to go check her out, she's over there. Our wonderful Hailee is actually starting up a new Twitch channel under the name of Hailee Does Things, so if you want to have some more content from her, head over there. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!